The Cellar. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Antwood Movie Mania, and it is review time. Now, it has come to my attention that, well, I've just realised, should I say, that I've not done a review in quite some time. And the other night I went to my very first film festival called Fear Screen, and it was held at Roxy Cinema, and one of the films that was on there was called The Cellar. Now, I had already got pre-sent this a couple of weeks ago to review it, but when I found out that it was going to be shown on the big screen, I held off so I could get that full cinema experience with it, and I've got to say, it didn't disappoint. So this is what this video is all about. It's my review on The Cellar. So let's get into it. So the film starts off with our main character, Abigail. She wakes up in an underground dungeon type scenario setting, and she's very disoriented. She doesn't know where she is, and the film is pretty much all about her trying to escape, but along the way we find out a lot of other things that are going on. So she is trying to escape, but the film differentiates backwards and forwards with flashbacks and things that are going on with other people. So we find a load of other characters in a parish, and the pastor is talking about it's an anonymous group of people, and one struggling with drugs, alcoholism, and other things like that. But these are issues that are getting dealt with every single day, and it's actually fitting to a story because everyone's dealing with their inner demons, and it was just so put in such a delicate way that it fits so nicely into the story, and I really appreciated that. Actually, it was a nice change of pace from what I'm normally used to seeing with that kind of film. But then we have Abigail again. She is trying to escape, we're going backwards and forwards, and obviously we've got this main person with the mask on who's got her locked up, and in a way it was kind of a cat and mouse game, which I actually thought was interesting because he's trying to find her when he figures out that she's escaped, and she's following him to try and get out. So it was backwards and forwards like that, and then we go back to the rest of the people they're dealing with the drugs, and then you hear their stories of how they're dealing with things in the alcoholism, when they've come to near enough death, and they're being revived to find a new lease on life. So there's just loads of things going on that there's not too much, but it's enough to give the story some depth in what actually goes on in real life. So I found that really interesting. But now I was talking to a guy named Phil from the Fear Screen. He was presenting the film The Cellar, and I sat down with him. I had an interview with him, and I found out that when he came part of the team, during one of the Q&A bits later on, that the film had a 20 grand budget. They managed to fund 20 grand for that project, and to find out they only had 20 grand, but they'd managed to pull off something so good. It just goes to show that, obviously, if you're living in, if you're a big Hollywood director, you can have millions and millions shot at you, and then you can make one of the best blockbusters ever. But you can also have the biggest flops ever, which Hollywood has proven. No matter how much money gets thrown at you, if the story isn't there and the visuals aren't there, then yeah, absolutely, it's going to be a flop. But with a 20 grand budget, what they used to produce in this film, you could see where the money was spent on graphics, on visuals and special effects with the eyes and in all the set pieces, and like the abandoned building that they were filming in, like some of the rooms were set out really nicely, like really posh, and then some of them were like decked down and dirty. You've got to think that like how they can go from one side to the nice side, and then that just shows like the light and dark that they were going for. And I mean, the grungy, dirty dungeon rooms and the tunnels, I mean, it was very claustrophobic. I mean, if you are a very claustrophobic person, then maybe this might not be the film to watch. but I just want to go back to the special effects with, like I said, they only had 20 grand to work with, so you could see where they'd carefully placed all the special effects. But to make a certain scene work, you don't need money. As long as you've got that setting, get that music right, and the camera angles and everything like that, you can easily make a great scene from nothing. And that's what they did. They made like loads of great scenes. They made it very intense. The music was right there to make it even more better, like with the intensity. And then it was the cat and mouse game. And then at the end, I won't give too much away because obviously everyone who wants to watch this, it will. But it is all about, like, the film is about sins, cleansing and everything like that, like dealing with the drugs, the alcohol, everything like that. But again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was actually a decent film that I haven't watched in a while. But yeah, that was. I'm trying not to give too much away. I'm just trying to give the pinpoints and everything. But I hope you all enjoyed this review. Like I said, I haven't done one for a while, so I hope that this has given enough texture to whet your appetite. Now, The Cellar does not come out until November. I think it's the 3rd or 4th of November in the UK, but it is out in America on Amazon Prime to watch. So if you want to go watch it, please do, because I highly recommend it. But yeah, I had a great time talking with Phil about the film, learning all the little bits of ins and outs, how we got involved in the project and everything like that. So I had a great time. I got to watch it for free as well, which made my day even better. But yeah, this has been a nice change of pace to do a review on something new and interesting and a bit fresh. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope I've done this review some justice as well, because I've actually enjoyed doing a review for a change. But as always, I am Antwood Movie Mania. Please leave your likes, your comments, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.